Hi boys, it's Coach Thorpe. I'm going to introduce you to a handful of short videos to help you understand a little bit of some of the different hockey things we want to do. The reason I'm sharing this via video is we don't have a lot of time in the locker room before or after practice, and we don't want to use all this time on the ice. So my intent is to keep this short, but to give you a basic understanding of some of the things we want to do. Today I want to talk about the defensive zone. Um, Within the defensive zone, we represent these yellow players because we're the gold team. Sorry about the bad cartoons, but the yellow players, the red team is obviously somebody that we want to destroy. Um, First things first, as you know, there's three different positions that we identify in the game. We have wings, we have a center, and we have defensemen. I want to talk about the wings first. If you play wing, oftentimes the defensive zone there's less required of you. Simply put, wings, your responsibility is to cover the defenseman in the defensive zone. Not to oversimplify what you have to do, but as long as you make sure that the other team's defense don't have an opportunity to catch the puck or to play the puck, then you should be pretty good. Rules that we're going to use. Pretty simply put, your responsibility is to always be in position to make sure this puck cannot get to that defenseman or to that defenseman. So you're always going to be positioned with your chest facing outside to the glass so you can see the defenseman out of the corner of your eye and the puck out of the other side. A simple rule that we're going to use, and this is going to be hard, but we'll understand the context as we go through here. Generally put, you do not want to go below these dots if you are a wing. The reason I say that is because there's going to be times where you feel like you're going to want to go down into the zone and help your teammate. You feel like you would be better off to help him with the puck carrier. However, when we do that, as soon as you drop down, we then allow this defenseman to move into a scoring position. So in all times, we want to make sure you're doing your responsibility, which is always covering the point. So by rule, we're going to say staying above the dots. If you think about what's left over, if we take out their two defensemen with our two wings, what do we have left is simply 1, 2, 3 of their players against 1, 2, 3 of our players. The 3 of our players represent our two defensemen and our center. If you play center, center is often the most challenging position on the hockey team because you're asked to play both in the offensive and defensive zone. You cover the full ice, and often our centers are the most defensive-minded players, and they understand how they fit. In a simple way to think about this, we are playing 3-on-3 hockey below the dots. The first rule that we're going to use to understand what we mean by manning up, if there's 3 of them and 3 of us, each one of you take one guy. Simply put, you want to stay with him as much as you possibly can. We try to avoid the temptation that if one of your teammates is on the puck, to help him out by putting 2 of you on the puck. When you do that, again, you leave their offensive player in a position where they can accept a puck and possibly get to the net quicker. Another rule we want to use is if at all possible, we want to keep one of our defensemen, one of the guys who play defense, in front of the net if at all possible. We'd prefer that this wasn't the center, but there are going to be times where we have to shift, we have to change, and we have to cover. But generally put, we want to keep one person in front of the net to make sure that we don't vacate all 3 of us and leave a good scoring chance for the offense. You'll hear the term defensive side. The most important thing that we can do when we play defense is to keep them on the outside towards the glass and us on the inside. For you being on the defensive side, it simply means that you, the player, are between the puck and the goalie. That keeps the other team to the outside. Now, obviously, the game is fluid and kids are always moving around, so they're always trying to find themselves on the inside. If they move more to the inside, you always have to replace by staying on the outside. If we do this, we feel like we leverage our chances to force them into situations where they shoot at bad angles or they shoot from far away, which we can then redirect or Jamison can stop easily. Last thing is there's going to be times where the puck gets to the front of the net. When the puck gets to the front of the net, obviously they're going there. They're trying to score. Most goals in the game of hockey happen within 5 feet of the net either way. If this is the situation, the rule we're going to use is the first thing we do is lift their sticks up. We have a tendency to look for the puck and try to find it so we can shoot it out of the way, but the most important thing we can practice is getting your stick under their stick. After you lift up their stick, you move their body out. This isn't simply checking them or knocking to the ground, but it's physically getting them to move. Once you have their stick up and their body out, then you can start looking for the puck and see if you can move it out of the way into the corner, or maybe Jamison can cover it.